Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the 6th meeting of English Morphology. Today we're going to learn about inflectional and derivational morphemes. Let's start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous meeting, I have explained to you 3 ways of classifying morphemes. There are free morphemes and bound morphemes, and then lexical and grammatical morphemes, and also inflectional and derivational morphemes. I have explained the first 2 of how to classify morphemes, and I hope that you still remember what are free and bound and what are lexical and grammatical morphemes are. Now we're going to learn about inflectional and derivational morphemes. For inflectional and derivational morphemes, they have one similarity, which is inflectional and derivational morphemes only include affixes. Therefore, they are also categorized as bound morpheme, because affix is a bound morpheme. Because they only include affixes, it means that I might say inflectional morpheme or inflectional affix. Also, derivational morpheme or derivational affix. Jadi, mungkin saya akan mengatakan bisa inflectional morpheme atau inflectional affix. Sama halnya dengan derivational, I might say derivational morpheme or derivational affix. All of them are the same. So, what is inflectional morpheme or inflectional affix? They are affixes that don't change the class or grammatical category of a word. However, not all affix that don't change word class is inflectional affix. So this is only a characteristic, a typical characteristic of inflectional affix. However, not all. Jadi tidak semua affix yang tidak merubah word class or grammatical category can be included as inflectional affix. Then, how exactly can we know whether an affix is inflectional? This is the thing that only inflectional affix has. Inflection deals with syntax. This is something that derivational affix don't have. And there are only 8 inflectional affixes in English. These affixes I have also showed to you before in our previous meeting. There are plural, possessive, comparative, superlative, present, past participle, and present participle. All of these deals with syntax. Plural, it shows the amount of noun. So noun here, it becomes also a noun. Boy becomes boys. The S here is noun. And possessive, boy becomes the boys. And both of them are noun. And comparative, for adjective old, it becomes adjective older. Here is the comparative. Superlative also, for adjectives, old to be oldest. Est here is the superlative. And present, for verbs, the verb walk becomes walks. And past walk becomes walked. And past participle, it is for present perfect tense, drive and driven, and present participle for present perfect continuous tense, drive to be driving, or also for continuous tense, present continuous tense, and also for present perfect continuous tense. Jadi ini semua berkaitan dengan tenses ya, berkaitan dengan sinteks. Tolong dihafalkan ini plural, possessive, comparative, superlative. But actually you don't have to memorize because this is the real characteristic of affix. Jadi jika kalian menemukan affix yang berkaitan dengan syntax atau berkaitan dengan tenses, itu pasti adalah inflectional affix gitu. Jangan hanya mengandalkan karakteristik bahwa atau ciri-ciri bahwa affix yang tidak merubah word class itu adalah inflectional affix. Karena tidak semua affix yang tidak merubah word class bisa dikategorikan sebagai inflectional affix. Ini tolong diingat-ingat, plural, past, comparative, past, past participle, and present participle. Kenapa? Why do you have to memorize this? We're going to find it out after this. Regular and irregular inflections. There are two kinds of inflections which are regular and irregular. What do they mean? We have past verbs here. Listen, it is formed from listen and ed. This is the past morpheme, and then touched, and ed. This is also the past morpheme. But how about saw? Can we break it down to be see plus ed? It is kind of abnormal, right? And also for the plurals, cats, it is from cat and the plural s. Horses, it also from horse and the plural s. But what about mice? Can we also break it down to be mouse and s? So this is the regular. The first two are regular. This is also regular. But this one and this one they are irregular. Saw and mice. Suffixing a verb with ed is a regular method of forming a past verb. And also, suffixing a noun with us is also a regular method of forming a plural noun. However, there are also irregular methods in forming them. Irregularity is very common in English. So, I believe that you have found very various types of irregular nouns or irregular verbs. So how exactly do we break this down? We can just write it down as this. So it is broken down into see and past. Jangan lupa ini di capital semua ya. You have to capitalize this. Past. See plus past. So it is not see plus ed, but see plus past. And this one also, mice, we can break this down into mouse plus plu. Plu from plural. And you have to capitalize this. Ditulis dengan huruf kapital. So this is exactly why I want you to memorize this. Plu, past, comp, sub, press, and past participle or press participle. Because sometimes we have to break down words into the irregular forms. Like this. Like this ones. I hope you can understand it. And now we can continue to the derivational morpheme or derivational affix. Derivational affix are affixes that change the class or grammatical category of a word, but not always. Jadi, sebelumnya jika inflectional affix tidak merubah word class, derivational affix cenderung merubah word class, tetapi tidak semuanya. The amount of derivational affixes in English is potentially infinite. Jadi untuk inflectional kita hanya punya 8. However, in derivational affixes, they are probably infinite. Probably infinite. Because there is no one yet that has counted how many they are exactly, but it is probably infinite. Jadi mungkin tidak terbatas ya. For example, realize. It is from real and eyes. Real is adjective, and we add derivational suffix, it becomes a verb. And playful. Play is a verb, and full is a derivational affix or derivational suffix here. It becomes adjective, playful. However, what about the derivational affix that don't change the word class? These are the examples. Disagree. It comes from dis and agree. This is also a derivational prefix. It is attached to a verb and it produces a verb too. Jadi dari agree to be disagree tidak ada perubahan word class. However, this is not connected to syntax. Nah, itu adalah perbedaan yang paling mendasar ya. Derivational affix do not have something to do with syntax. So this is also a derivational prefix or derivational affix too. Meskipun dia tidak merubah word class. For this one too, unhappy. It comes from un and happy. Un is also derivational prefix. It is attached to adjective and it produces an adjective too. Jadi hati-hati jangan sampai kalian cenderung mendefinisikan inflectional dan derivational affix berdasarkan dari apakah affix tersebut dapat merubah word class atau tidak. So it is better for you to memorize the 8 affixes that belongs to the inflectional affix. Jadi tolong dihafalkan itu yang 8 aja tadi. Dan semua affix yang tidak termasuk ke 8 itu adalah derivational affix. And this is the further differences of inflectional and derivational affix. Ini adalah perbedaannya lagi. Selain yang tadi sudah dijelaskan, saya akan menjelaskan lebih banyak perbedaan antara inflectional dan derivational affix. From the historical development, inflectional affix are originally from English or Old English. However, derivational affix, many but not all of them, are borrowed from other languages such as Latin and Greek. For the distribution, all inflectional affix are suffixes. Semuanya pasti akhiran. All of them are suffixes. However, derivational affix includes prefixes and suffixes. For the range of application, the inflectional affix has wide range of application. For example, suffix plu or plural can be attached to almost all nouns. However, for derivational affix, they have varied range of application. Some of them have wide range and some of them has narrow range. For example, many affix, especially prefix, in derivational affix have narrow range, such as an. An can be attached to happy and it becomes unhappy. However, an cannot be attached to sad. So you can see the symbol asterisk here. Asterisk means that it is wrong. Unsaid is wrong. So why it can be attached to happy but it cannot be attached to sad? We don't know because that is the rule in English. That is the rule for the person who created English. This is why some of derivational affix has wide range of application. However, some of them also has narrow range of application. Now from the order of appearance. Inflectional affix generally follows derivational suffix. Jadi setelah derivational suffix biasanya diikuti oleh inflectional affix. For example, the word friendships. It comes from friendship and plural. The us here is plural. Friend is noun and ship is a derivational suffix and it is followed by inflectional suffix. Jadi inflectional suffix tidak bisa ditempelkan sebelum derivational suffix. Selalu derivational dulu baru inflectional. Kalau ada yang kebalik itu berarti salah. Kita harus menuliskan tanda asterisk tadi ya, tanda bintang. And this is another example, friendliest. It comes from friend, le, and superlative. Superlative affix. Friend is noun, le is a derivational suffix, and est atau superlative here, est here is a superlative, is inflectional suffix. Jangan sampai kebalik ya. Harus derivational first and then inflectional. The number of allowable affixes. No more than one inflectional affix in a particular syntactic category or word class. For example, friends only has one, and taller, it only has one inflectional, and listening, it also only has one inflectional. Jadi kita tidak bisa nulis tollers gitu. Tollers is incorrect. Or listenings, it is also incorrect. Hanya satu inflectional in one particular syntactic category. However, for derivational affix, there's no limit to the number of derivational affix in one category. For example, the word anti-disestablishment. It has 3 derivational affix: anti, dis, and ment. So this is also the difference between inflectional and derivational affix. I hope you have already understood the explanation about inflectional and derivational, and now this is the time for you to have assignment. Divide yourselves into groups, and each group has 2 or 3 people. You can just have the same group as your previous group, and do exercise H number 1 in Parker and Riley's book. Oh yeah, everything that I have explained to you for this topic, you can also learn it further in Parker and Riley's book. And this is how you do the assignment. For example, number 1, there is mouthful for mouthfuls. Jadi yang ada tanda bintangnya atau asterisknya selalu salah ya. Consider why mouthful is incorrect and why mouthfuls is correct. Actually, this has something to do with this order of appearance. And then there is also this question. The last 6 Queen of Englands. Which part of this phrase that's incorrect, and why is it incorrect? So this is how you do the assignment, and it will be submitted next week. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Now let's move to the discussion in our Google Classroom. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.